Okay, as promised, here's a video showing how to kind of set up levels in this game. I've made it as simple as I could, and hopefully uh, that shows in this video. So the first thing I want to talk about is layering. The only thing you have to remember with layers is that your main character needs to be on top. So he's right here in this scene. And the reason it's all black is because I have this one tile right here, this background, and if you hit preview here, it replicates, so that helps it run smoother. But you can always use that to help line up things and quickly see where everything's at as you're testing making your level. That's especially helpful when you're trying to line up this trapdoor over here. So yeah, just keep your main actor right here on top of everything except for like your HUD, and the only other thing is maybe the cameras. You'd probably want him to be below that, so if you run underneath it, it would be above you, obviously. Other than that, the layering is just whatever looks good. So on this level, I already have all these walls set up and crates, and I'm not going to explain those too much. They're pretty straightforward, but I have all these pieces over here on the left. These EXT pieces are extenders, what I call them. So you can pull it out and stretch it. And then you have all your end cap pieces and whatnot. So you use those to cap it and make it look pretty, kind of like that. So that's how I've set up this whole, all these walls. But that's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to explain that too much. What I do want to explain is everything else. So like let's talk about the doors and key card system real quick. So here we have two doors, and all you have to do is go into it, and there's a door ID in the self attributes, and you just set that to whichever door you want. So door number 1 right here, and door number 2 that are already set up that way. So if you pick up a key card that's a key card with an ID of 2, you can open door number 2 and number 1. If you pick up a key card with ID 1, you can only open 1 and not 2. So now all we have to do is pull out some key cards. So you just put it on your scene, double click on it, and give it a key card ID. So if we want it to open both doors, we'll just say 2, and it automatically puts, if we preview it here, it automatically puts a 2 on it, and it will open door number 2 and 1. So that's kind of how you set that up. It's pretty simple. Whoops, let's go back. So over here we have a trapdoor set up already. I've just put it out on the scene and used this trick by previewing it to try and line it up the best I could. So all you have to do is double click on it. Again, self attributes, everything uses that. So you have trapdoor activate and trapdoor deactivate. So the trapdoor activates after 1.25 seconds of making contact with it. And then it will close after 2 seconds. So you can adjust that here to whatever you prefer. Maybe as levels get harder, you could speed that up or something. What else is there? So a briefcase is your goal of the level. So I have mine right here. You need to have that on your scene in order to complete a level. Let's talk about the surveillance cameras. Now these are really cool because I only have one actor, and you can use it for a horizontal camera or a vertical. So I'm going to pull a couple out just to show you an example. So this will be our vertical one right here, and we'll do a horizontal one right here, just for example. So now all I have to do, wherever you place it in the beginning, is its center point. So you double click on it, and if it's going to be moving horizontal, you check the horizontal box. But this one's vertical, so we'll leave that unchecked. Your tracking distance is how far the camera is moving back and forth from your center point. So you divide that in half, and it's going to be moving that much up from your center point, or that much down. And then your tracking speed is how quickly it's moving up and down. And then finally, you can have it start up or right, depending on which way it's going. So this one's vertical, so if we wanted it to start up rather than down, we would check that box. So this one, if we preview it, should just be moving up and down, see? And now you can see this one over here on the right is moving up and down too, and that's not what we want. So let's double click on this one, and all we have to do is check horizontal, and let's go ahead and have that one start right, and we'll change the distance to 100, so it's not going as far. And then we'll move over here and watch that. Boom. That's all there is to it. It's really cool how I set that up. Super easy to update. Let's see. Next we need to talk about the guards. So I have up and down guards and left and right guards. They work very similar to the cameras. You just put them out on your scene, and you'll notice they're actually a very wide actor. But what I've done is made it so if you're in front of them, they'll see you, but if you're behind the actor, they won't see you. So in here, they have the patrol distance, just like the surveillance camera, and the speed, and whether they start right or up and down. And then wait time. Wait time is how long they wait at the end of their patrol distance. So you can tweak all that right there. So it's the exact same settings for up and down. You just pull them out in the scene, double click, change their settings, and you're done. Let's see. Okay, so lasers are also very simple. You just pull them out on your scene, line them up, put one right here, double click it, laser off for, laser on for. So you just set how long you want the laser to be turned on for and how long you want it to be turned off. And it'll just cycle through that over and over again. And that works the same way for vertical and horizontal. Also, I wanted to point out that wherever you put your main actor on the scene is where the camera is constrained to him. So if we wanted to start up here in the level, you just move him up there and hit play, and you start up there. So that's kind of nice. Let's move him back. The last thing to go over are the vents, and this is a little more complicated, but I've set it up pretty simple. So hopefully this makes sense to you. So you pull out your vent entry point, which is where you're going to start. We'll put one right here, and then an exit. So our exit, I've already set up a vent crawl space up here using these crawl spaces. And what that actor does is make it so you can't stand up when you're overlapping with that. So we want to enter right here and then exit up here. So we'll put that right here. And then we'll put another entry point over here to finish it. And wherever we want to come out, we'll put another exit. So right here. So if you just alternate it like that, you go entry, exit, it's pretty simple to set up. So now all we have to do is go into our first one, and we give it an ID, and this is our first one, so ID of 1, and we want it to go to vent destination, the second one. So ID 1, destination 2. So now we go into where we want that to take us, and we give it an ID of 2, and a destination of 1, because if you go back through it, we want it to take you to the last one. And then here, this will be ID number 3, and we want it to take you to 4. And this one is number 4, and that goes back to 3 if you go through it. So now all we have to do is try it out. And I haven't fixed all the layering, so it probably won't look quite right, but you'll get the idea. See, now I'm crawling through, and it worked just perfectly. So now we have to do one more thing to make this work just right, and that is use a crawl space cover. So I have this actor called crawl space cover. Pull it out and cover up whatever area you're using as a crawl space. So just drag it out like this. And what that's going to do is trigger the game to darken all your surroundings, so you're just focusing on the crawl space. So watch what happens. See how it's all black now around it? And that just gives a cool point of focus for you. And then you come through. So that's how the vents work. It's pretty straightforward. Hopefully that seems simple enough. It was the easiest way I could think of to set it up. But yeah, that should pretty much cover all the basics of setting up guards and cameras and all your little obstacles for your levels. I hope you enjoy it.